Picture this. New York City, 8 p.m. Times Square glitters. Tourists gawk, but just off this dazzling stage, a different scene unfolds. A young mother, her eyes etched with exhaustion, huddles with two children on a steam vent. This is the stark duality of American cities in 2024. We celebrate the vibrancy of our urban centers. But what about the cracks in the pavement? The stories whispered by the shadows. Tonight, we delve into the underbelly of progress. First up, homelessness. It's not a new problem, but it's one that's festering. The reasons are complex: lack of affordable housing, mental health crises, addiction. These aren't just statistics, they're people, individuals with stories. This isn't just about pity, folks, it's about perspective. The line between us and them is thinner than we like to admit. One unexpected life event could push any one of us closer to that edge. Next, we journey into the belly of the beast: gentrification. Imagine a neighborhood steeped in history, a cultural tapestry woven over generations. Now, imagine bulldozers, sleek condos sprouting like expensive mushrooms, and skyrocketing rents pushing out the very people who gave the neighborhood its soul. That's the gentrification two-step, folks. And it's happening in cities across the nation. Sure, proponents will tout urban renewal and economic growth. But for longtime residents, it often feels like a slap in the face. Their local bodega, replaced by an artisanal cheese shop. Their community center, now a luxury gym with a juice bar. It's enough to make you choke on your locally sourced gluten-free kale chips. And the kicker? The very communities displaced are often the ones who end up serving lattes and walking designer dogs in these shiny new neighborhoods. It's a twisted irony that would make even Kafka scratch his head. This isn't just about losing affordable housing, it's about the erosion of community, the displacement of culture, the feeling of being unwelcome in your own backyard. Finally, let's talk about the elephant in the room, or rather, the sardine can on wheels: public transportation. From the crumbling infrastructure of New York's subway system to the perpetual gridlock in Los Angeles, getting around our cities can feel like an Olympic sport. Except instead of medals, you get delayed trains, overcrowded buses, and the lingering aroma of despair. Now I understand that maintaining a complex public transportation network is no walk in the park. But when bridges are held together by duct tape and prayers and rush hour feels longer than the average Tolstoy novel, something's gotta give. We're relying on outdated systems, starved for funding, to serve a growing population with evolving needs. And the consequences are real, folks. Commute times eat into precious family time. Unreliable service forces people to rely on expensive, ride-sharing options, further widening the gap between the haves and the have-nots. Look, I get it, public transportation isn't sexy, but it's the backbone of a functioning city, and right now, that backbone is suffering from a serious case of scoliosis. Section 4. The Price of Paradise, a tale of two cities. The problems facing our cities are as diverse as their inhabitants. The cost of living is pushing the American dream out of reach for many. We're seeing a tale of two cities unfold, one for the affluent with its rooftop bars and another for everyone else, struggling to make ends meet. Take San Francisco, for example. Once a haven for artists, it's now a playground for tech moguls. Meanwhile, essential workers commute for hours from distant suburbs. And it's not just San Francisco. From Seattle to Austin, the story remains the same: soaring housing costs and stagnant wages. The American dream is starting to feel like a recurring nightmare. Section 5. From gridlock to green spaces. A glimmer of hope. Now, before you go full doomsday prepper and start stocking your underground bunker, there are glimmers of hope. Cities across the US are experimenting with innovative solutions to tackle these complex issues. Take Salt Lake City, which has made significant strides in reducing chronic homelessness through a housing-first approach. By providing permanent housing without preconditions, they've seen remarkable success in helping people get back on their feet. It's a compassionate and cost-effective solution that challenges the traditional tough love approach. Other cities are focusing on sustainable urban planning, investing in bike lanes, pedestrian-friendly streets, and expanded public transportation networks. Not only does this ease traffic congestion, but it also promotes healthier lifestyles and reduces carbon emissions. It's about creating cities that are livable for everyone, not just those who can afford a Tesla. Section 6. City lights, flickering futures. The future of our cities hinges on our willingness to address these issues head-on. We can't just slap a band-aid on a gaping wound and hope it goes away. It's time for bold solutions, for courageous leadership, for a collective realization that we're all in this concrete jungle together. Will we continue down a path of unbridled development where the highest bidder reigns supreme, or will we choose a more equitable future where everyone has a chance to thrive, regardless of income or zip code? The answer, my friends, is blowing in the wind, or perhaps stuck in traffic on the 405. Either way, it's time to start paying attention.